friends, welcome to my channel Student with Tripti. I hope you are doing fine and I'm good too. So in this video we are gonna talk about one of the biggest challenge newcomers face in Sweden, and that is finding housing in Sweden. So it's not as simple as just going to a website and you will find a house of your dream. So in this video I'm gonna explain why it is hard to find a housing, websites and platform you are supposed to use to find housing, and how you can avoid all the scams. So without any further delay, let's begin today's video. So let's start with reality. So in Sweden, when we are talking about renting a house, there are two types of house which you can rent. The first one, we call it first hand contract, and the other is second hand contract. So when we are talking about first hand contract, that means you are renting house directly from a housing company or the landlord. So it is like a direct communication with the landlord. So when we are talking about second hand contract, in that case you are renting house from a person who has already contract with a landlord or maybe with housing company. So it is like there is a middle person is coming between a landlord and you. So these are the two types of contracts you will find. But what is the problem here is it is too difficult to find a first hand contract where you will rent a house directly from landlord. So if I talk about Stockholm, so there is a long queue, and when I'm talking long queue, it's not only for few days, months, it's for years, like 7 to 10 years of waiting time. So it's quite long. So when a newcomer is coming, of course they are preferring for second hand contract. But the benefit of second hand contract is it is quite fast, and of course it is temporarily, you can't stay there for a long time, but the problem is it can be quite expensive. So that can be the case, but if you are in a hurry and you don't find any other options, so second hand contract is the best option for newcomers who are planning to stay in Sweden. So next question is like where exactly you are supposed to find these houses. The first one is Blocket Bostad, Sweden's biggest site for housing ads. So it is quite safe. You can find there, you need to search there according to your location and price, everything. So you will find it quite helpful. You can find there, and it is legit platform, or I can say website where you can find. The other option is Casa website. So the website is casa.se, and it is quite popular nowadays. So it is quite easy for you to find there. You just need to enter the location, your budget, everything, what sort of house you're looking for. Important thing is it is quite safe, and it's pretty good for tenants as well as for the landlord also. When we are talking about for the transition, money transfer and everything, it is also quite safe. So I would highly recommend these two platforms, websites, and the first one is Blocket Bostad and the second one is casa.se. So, and one more thing, these are for second hand. I'm talking about for second hand contract houses where you can rent houses. And if you are interested for first hand contract, for that there is another website, that is bostad.se. Bostad Stockholm. You need to enroll yourself, and of course there will be a long queue. But if you are planning, for example, you are staying here temporarily right now, you got a second hand contract, looking for less expensive apartment for you, so of course it is good, you can enroll in that website as well, or probably in few years if you got lucky you can get your apartment there as well. And next option can be a Facebook group, but I would say like you can depend on that, but not fully depend on that. But for example, you are already living here and you want to switch or move or something like that, then you can use, of course, Facebook groups also. They are also quite reliable, but you need to be careful. And next option is student housing. So for example, if you are a student and moving here to study, so it is better to check your university's housing website as well. I would highly recommend students to check that first before other thing, because those are quite safe, and I would say that would be quite affordable and good for you, good and easy accessible for you. So there is sssb.se, that is the largest students housing foundation in Stockholm, so you can check over there as well. So these are the options. Make sure whenever you are going through those, be careful, especially when I'm talking about the Facebook. So you shouldn't blindly trust anybody. You should double check, verify everything. And as I am mentioning again and again, you need to be careful, because the reason behind it is there are scams as well. So to avoid those scams, you need to be super careful. The very first point is no need to transfer any money without contract, and of course it should be signed contract. So never ever transfer money before a signed contract to anybody. And also just keep in mind that if you feel like okay, the rent seems quite cheap according to the area locality, you should double check okay, what are the actually current price going on for the particular area. And if you feel like it seems quite cheap, so make sure you will double check. It can be a scam, so don't fall for these scams. You feel like, oh, it's quite cheap, how I'm gonna grab it as soon as possible. No, don't fall for it. If you are feeling like maybe it is fine, you need to double check, triple check before you transferring. And one more thing, also double check the person with whom you are interacting, they have access to subletting or not. Like the middle person who is renting, they don't have access to subletting it to another person, and this can be a problem. Later you will find out, and then it will be like a disaster for you. So make sure with whom you are talking, you need to ask them, confirm that are you allowed to sublet it. So make sure you need to double check all those things, and make sure you will use verified website platforms. Don't search randomly on Google or any other place randomly. No, you need to be careful. And of course, don't transfer money without knowing and without contract is a very big thing here. Without contract, you're not supposed to send any money. And one more thing I would say, once we have decided and everything have done, there are huge long process for, like, there is a bidding process as well. I can cover that in another, but yeah, it's not like, for example, you feel like okay, I like this house and I'm ready to that, so immediately the owner is not gonna say okay, you are the one, you get this house. No, because other people are also looking for the house, and there will be a bidding process for that. The one who will bid the most will get the house. So this is also a case. So make sure whenever you are liking any house, you get everything whatever you want according to your budget and everything. Make sure you will start process as soon as possible, so it would be easy for you. And yeah, and if you're already living in Stockholm, it is good for you to make a network. Ask in your network if there is any housing, maybe your colleague is looking for some tenants, something like that. So if you do like that, so process become very easy for you. You don't need to go under this whole bidding process and everything. You can avoid that if you have some known person, and yeah, you and the landlord agree on the same agreement. So this is how you can work. More thing, if you are in your country and planning to move, so you can ask your company as well. If your companies has tie up with those housing companies, then it can be a great deal for you, because you don't need to worry like all that stressful things. It can be so helpful. In our case, if I talk about myself, when we came here, my husband's company, they have organized everything. They had tie up with housing companies, so they showed houses to us. They shared all the houses price, everything whatever they had, so we could manage to select the house. So that time it was quite stress free for us. We decided from there and everything, and we just came there. So if your company can arrange that thing for you, it would be so good for you. And of course, when we were living there, that was a second-hand contract. So in second-hand contract, what happens, there is like 11 months contract. So during that period of 11 months, you can chill, you can understand what is going on around you, everything. And by the time you can, if you are interested, you can search for other houses, whatever you want. You get a time to think, to relax, to understand everything. So yeah, this is I would say a good option for you if you can arrange that. If you are from India and you are willing to know which areas are comfortable for newcomers, especially from India, so I have already made one video. I will tag that video here, so that you can go through which areas are quite welcoming according to Indian environment. I'm talking about Indian environment, yes. So I have already mentioned those areas. There you can look for house advices. Make sure you will start this process as soon as possible. Start looking for those, because finding housing is not too easy. It takes so much time, patience. So it's better to start early, before you coming. At least start that process, looking for the housing areas, so that in your mind you are ready. Okay, we want, at least that is our budget, that is what we are looking for, what are the amenities we are looking for, what are those areas which should be in my list. So make sure you should you should have done all those things before coming to Sweden. If you have searched for housing already, please comment down in my video and tell me where exactly you are living right now. And yeah, I hope this video will be helpful for you. If you have other questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you so much guys for watching my videos. Bye bye. Take care.